What's up, guys? This is the old junkyard mechanic. I got the supervisor with Leatherface hanging out. So I know I probably should have did more videos on this, but this 8.1 vortec has been a crazy project for me. So I took the stock harness that it came with. Again, like everybody else does when they make these videos, I have to give all the credit to LS Swap, lt1swap.com. You guy's amazing, knows what he's doing. I can't recommend enough to watch his videos. The 8.1 was a little bit different though, because it's not like your run-of-the-mill swap. Not everything is exact with it, but he has all that extra information you need on there. So this engine, not only did I clean up the harness, remove all the pins, get rid of all the other crap on it for emissions. I even made me a little EGR delete plate. I mean, it's got everything you need in there. I got my two O2 sensors for the front. You know, I loomed it, got all my coils and the fuel injection connections, and you know, I got my OBD port right here. I got four wires for it, grounds and ports. When I put it in the truck, I can put an OBD reader on it. Got the 3 wires for starting it, the battery hot, ignition, and fuel pump. You know, from the relay, got my 2 relays and just a cheap little fuse box I soldered and worked on there, shrink wrapped, siliconed everything, so it's waterproof and does all that. And I know it's sort of messy and some of this tape's going to come off. It's all just temporary, so I keep the wires separated. But I also converted it. All 8.1s are drive-by-wire. I converted mine to drive-by cable. So I added the throttle positioning sensor and the idle air control sensor control thing right here. So I added those, plumbed those in there as well. There's a couple different, if you watch a bunch of the videos on them, there's a couple people that talk about doing it. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's pretty straightforward too. And you look at your pins, locations and stuff like that, it'll say like, like throttle positioning sensor, signal, blue wire, pin 24, and there's some other ones that are on there as well that, and you know, okay, that's what I need. And then so you put it into the, whatever color part of the PCM plug, pin 24, and then, you're going to remove a lot of stuff. My recommendation that a lot of other people don't do is I would try, so I started with just removing part of the loom, but at the end of the day, it's just better, I think, in my opinion, to remove all the loom. Because as you start pulling wires, things get loose. It's easy to trace wires all the way down. You can cut them long because you'd be surprised. These pins, if you start adding other stuff in here that you want, control fans for heat fans and things like that, as you eliminate stuff, you can reuse the wiring and pins that you've already pulled out. You might have to solder an extension on there or something, but it all works, Yeah, I'm pretty excited. This engine's going into a 1972 C60 truck. So it's going to be pretty awesome to be able to get that going. I use that truck. It's my dump truck. It's what I use to make money. And I'm pretty excited about it, man, to be able to get this engine in there. And like I said, just, like everybody else will tell you the same thing, just take your time. I never did one of these before. I must have picked up this wiring harness. I'm not even exaggerating. I must have picked this thing up like 5-6 times and then just feel overwhelmed and didn't want to mess with it. I've never done LS swap. I've done all types of builds on really cool cars and engines and stuff. That's my little gremlin, my Datsun. It's a 1972 Datsun 240Z. It's a fiberglass wide body. One of the front tires comes off the ground. It's got a 350 high output drop in it. Me and my father-in-law built it. Runs really good. I just sort of the transmission. I pulled the transmission I had out of it. It's a 5-speed manual. I'm putting a different transmission. I might even pull that engine out and put another 350. I'm building it. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, another video for another time. This ran, I drove it in here. It was fast, gets up and goes. It's a cool car. But getting back to this, I guess, one project at a time, right? But, take your time. And before you know it, you start getting the hang of it and understanding of it. And I really want to do it because I got a 1985 WS6 Trans Am that I've had since I was 18, 19 years old. And I'm thinking my LS swapping it. And this swap is a lot more complicated, in my opinion, because this is not a popular swap. The 8.1 vortec, it's a big engine, but it's what I needed for this big heavy truck. So, I just needed more power. I got a 468 in it now, and I'll just show you this real quick, show you guys what's going on. But that's sort of those are like a tall bot pretty much. And then this truck right here that I had, it had a 366 tall block in it, and I use this truck, I make money, so I put this in here, and this engine right here, this is a cool engine right here. This one's got 781 large oval port heads on it. It's a 454 board 60 over. I put the Sniper EFI on it. This has 2 radiators, so it's sort of, I don't know, sort of trashy, It's junkyard garage right here. So I have a second mini radiator that stays underneath it because these old big blocks, man, they like to run hot. And this truck's 13,000 pounds empty, and I'm routinely 30,000 pounds or more driving down the road. So, but this engine's been really good to me. It's got good power. It's got an aluminum high-rise intake on it. It's got a little bigger cam, not super big. This comes with the stock cam on this was 390, I think. Lift on the exhaust side and 430 or 425 lift on the intake, and I bumped it up. I think it's 450 or 475 on both now. All new lifters and all types of stuff I put on this thing. Push rods, everything. I did it all, man. Me and my father-in-law did. And it runs pretty good. It's a good engine, but it ain't going to be as good as that vortec engine. So it should be a direct bolt up to this one, this setup. And, that's what I want to put in this big old Chevy truck. Can't go wrong with that, man. This truck's been really good to me. And like I said, I got quite a bit of money and time put into building that thing. The gearing's been changed on it. Electrical, everything. And then, like I said, I got my Trans Am right there, too, that's sitting underneath the car cover. And I pulled the engine out of that. The old 305 twin port, and I was tired, but it was still a good engine. It still ran everything, but it was just tired. So I got rid of that. And so yeah, I definitely want to try to put this 8.1 in there. So I figured I'd just introduce you guys to it. And I'm gonna go ahead and make some videos on putting it in there. As these old trucks, I live in California, man, and regulations and smog and stuff, and all that's sort of brutal. So that truck's pretty smog. It's not diesel. It's registered as a gas truck. And because it's pretty smog, I have no regulation, no smog, no nothing on that thing. So, some people say, oh, no, diesel swap, do this, do that. Yeah, you can do all that, but it costs a lot more money than just simply getting another gas engine that bolts right in there. And these engines are notorious for, I can't remember the name of them, but you watch his videos on there. He pulls these things routinely and gets them straight from the junkyard, puts an optimized tuning on them, and they're pulling 425, 450 horse and almost 600 foot-pounds of torque. And I sent my computer off to LT1 Swap to get it flashed. He's supposed to flash it for me with no emissions, no nothing. So, and he said he'll set it so it should run great. Have the maximum amount of power possible. So, but this engine's stock, but I look forward to having the stock fuel injection and stock reliability of, the GM stuff, because that Sniper FI works good and doubled the fuel economy, did good on it, but at the end of the day, it's also finicky. Anybody that's had them knows that, it's real temperamental. If it doesn't have everything the way it wants, it don't want to work. Or I've had it where I've drove it and did jobs with it and had it where it would flash red and nothing would come on, and I'd get scared, because it won't start when it's like that. And getting that truck towed home would be extremely expensive. So, like I said, just, take everything, take your time. I'd mark everything. A lot of people are talking about just cutting all the pink wires when you remove the stock connection to it. You can do that too, and then you can trace everything later. But I find that it won't take you long as you're going through and cleaning up the harness, that you'll almost find where every one of those pink wires goes, and then you can put a piece of tape on it like I did, mark them, and then later on, it's like, okay, cool, this goes here, this goes there. Like, I didn't even have to really trace anything. I think I only traced like 1 or 2 wires with the electrical tester. Not too bad, man, as long as it runs and does what it's supposed to, which I guess you guys will find out if I did it right or not. So, but, it should be cool. I just got to do the last part. I think I'm going to wrap it with the heat protective tape. It says it could be used outside the looming, so we'll see. Try to put that, at least some of the spots that are hot. But yeah, kept the plugs I kept just real quick, crank or cam positioning sensor. Yeah, that's a cam positioning sensor. Kept the crank positioning sensor, kept the knock sensors, kept both the O2 sensors for the front, because the 8.1 comes with 4. I got rid of the back 2, whatever. I got rid of those, or the back 1 up to 3 or 4, whatever it comes with. It came with more than 2 though, so I got rid of those. Just kept the front ones. And my crank positioning sensor, like I said, grounds. They go to the back of the block. Driver side coil, fuel injection, plug-in, alternator. Like I said, throttle positioning sensor, IAC control, idle air control. And this one's MAF sensor, for the MAF sensor to make sure it can read the air is coming in. That's the relays and fuse box. And then the same thing on this side. You got your map. Got fuel injectors, passenger side coil, and temperature sensor, which should also be here pretty soon. And I can put that in right there, and that's really about it. I really kept. There's another knock sensor. It goes down there on wire. It runs down there for the starter, which I don't even know if I'm gonna use that or not, because like I said, the truck already has all that. But yeah, it's not bad at all, man. So I'll keep you guys updated and see how things go, see how stuff goes with it. But so far, so good. Thank you for joining me, and I appreciate you guys dealing with me rambling on, man. Like and subscribe to my videos. It helped me out a lot, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you.